Hey, Ted.
Hey
How
Johnny,
are
how
you?
you doing, buddy?
Man,
I'm doing good, man. I'm here in the outdoors. I'm taking this advantage of this time to exercise even more than usual. And what's really kind of nice, and we were just talking about this, but there's a lot of people that never got outside that are out walking now.
right.
That because they used to get what they thought was their exercise when they went to the store, when they went to work, or they didn't have time, and now they have nothing but time because even if you're working from home, you're even if you're working from home and working as hard as you used to, you're not driving to work. You're
Well,
you're
I was gonna
you're
say you got some found time.
you absolutely have some found time. And something else, and I know we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff, but we talked in our last talk about how things are going to change and companies are going to realize how people can work remotely and be effective and get their work done. And truth be told, I think some companies are finding that people are being more effective, that
Well,
they're not being sidetracked. They're not spending all that time traveling. Like even you, what do you only go 20 minutes to work, but that's still 40 minutes extra a day. And
40
you're doing
minutes
the
extra a
workouts at
day.
home. You're driving
I
to the
gotta
gym. And
deal with my car. I gotta do stuff. Yeah. Hey, I said this to our team yesterday. We have a 9:30 a.m. team call where
right,
we one brings us together and we all talk to each other. But our communication has been more efficient the past 2 weeks. We stopped going to the office 2 weeks ago today, to Thursday, 2 weeks ago. Um,
right,
and,
exactly.
and I said to our team, I'm like, maybe we could save all that money on rent because I don't know that, maybe we don't need it,
You know, and you can have team meetings. I mean, once we get over this, and if you decide to get rid of the office and save all that money, you can have team meetings at Starbucks, at a park. And I mean, it's not like you'll never see people because you can set times to get together and you
Sure.
don't need to be in an office. And, look, I've been around Photify enough to know that how often is it when we're all there together anyway?
Right.
Everybody.
It's a good point, and I think this is part of this conversation of working out. I'm starting Duolingo. I'm gonna learn Spanish because I've got some found time, and I've had that on my resolutions, my yearly resolutions, learn Spanish for a decade or so, and why not? Why not take advantage of this? But I was inspired by your post this morning, and you're like, hey, you always wanted to be on a workout routine. You've always wanted to do something. Go do it. You know, Shannon and I, pretty much for lunch
Okay.
every day, we go for a walk. I mean, we go for a walk in our neighborhood. So it's a great time to try new things. But if you're a company, try new technology. I was sharing with you an article that I read and shared today from your friend Jurgen, who you introduced me to, who was suggesting using private podcasts, use conversations like this as a form of employee communication. And I'm like, great idea. Why not? Try new things. We had a webinar at Photofy for Norwex this morning, one of our partners, and we had more people on the webinar than we've ever had on a webinar. We do regular webinars for them. So I think these are times to try new things if you're a company. Sorry.
No, exactly. And well, as I think we addressed this again in our last talk, was that now all of a sudden companies are being forced to try these things that for a long time they've known they're out there, but they've either been worried that they might not be effective, that they might not work for them, it might cost them some efficiency. And all of a sudden now they really don't have a choice. So it's
Right.
giving us an opportunity to try different things that were like, I think work is going to change. I think when this is all over, a lot of companies are going to divest of certain office space and team meetings. I think a lot of companies are going to be more open to letting the people that want to work remotely, who have reasons that want to work remotely, but these companies have had policies in the past where they didn't allow it or only a certain amount of time. I think a lot of that's going to change. And
I think you're right. There's a little what Jurgen and I talked about in the podcast he recorded yesterday, which was about retail. He says, how do you think retail is going to change? And I said, well, I think the biggest change is going to be we're going to see a really accelerated movement to different kinds of retail, right?
yes,
So if you've never tried pickup before, I bet 20, 30, 40% of your shoppers have now tried pickup that probably didn't before. So that curve of early adopters to whatever the middle part of the adoption curve is moving now, right? And shopper expectations are going to be, you know, I went to, we ordered some sushi last night, and they gave very clear directions and had a sign on their door, don't come in. Like, we'll bring it out to you, right? And I'm like, well, I really like that. Maybe they could bring it out to me every time. You know, I mean, why not? It just made it that much easier, and anything that makes my life easier as a shopper, I will probably do more of.
I think we're also getting a view into who are our corporate good citizens. Who are the companies, like, I know, you know, you have posted about it a lot, and I've shared it about Walmart and what they're doing to help their communities, to help their workers, you know, and watching some of these other companies. I mean, Danny Small, our buddy Danny, just posted something the other day, a letter he got from Hilton up front. And Danny and I were just talking the day before about the airlines, like what's going to happen to our status. Like, am I gonna be Diamond again next year? Being that
I fully expect Delta to come and say your status goes through the next year, right?
No, I'm expecting it, but they haven't yet. But meanwhile, Hilton already sent out a letter telling everybody that they're extending all their benefits by a year.
Yep.
That if you expired in March of 2020, you're now expiring March of 2021, and they took that step up front.
Easy, right? Yeah.
You know, again, and you know what? These companies are hurting. I mean, airlines, Hilton is getting killed, but they're stepping up, recognizing that the only way they're going to come back after this is when people feel good about them.
You got to look to the future, right?
And especially their best customers. And I just think that, you know, the companies that do this soonest are going to be recognized for the ones that aren't just jumping on the bandwagon later. But that it's just like you say, when you have a hard time in your personal life, you find out who your real friends are, right? You know, things are going great, everyone's tagging along, all of a sudden you have this major downturn, it's really hard to stay friends with you. You find out very quickly, and very often you're surprised.
Yeah.
And I know I've been through this a couple of times in my life that were both pretty severe. And it was amazing to me. Some of the people that stepped up that I never expected it from, and some of the people that backed away that I thought would be there forever. And I think you're seeing that a lot with companies as well, where you're seeing the ones that are stepping up right away and saying, we are here for the community. You know, this is not about profits first, because we recognize that without our community, we're nothing. And we want to be here to support you. And I think that they're going to get a huge amount of value for that, but it also gives us an idea to see who's really there and who's not. You know, I mean, and the companies that are, I mean, I just had a company that sent me something that they weren't supposed to send me. And when I initially called them, I got, well, I'm sorry, it's already on the way. And I'm like, well, call it back or credit my card. I'm sorry, we can't do that, but you can return it. And I'm like, okay, well, then send FedEx to get it. They go, oh, no, you have to take it to a FedEx store. And I'm like, so let me just get this straight. We're all at stay-at-home orders, and you're telling me to get my $100 back. I need to leave my house and go to a FedEx store. And all of a sudden it's like, can you please hold for a moment? And then they come back, and they're like, you know what? We'd like you to keep it, and we're going to credit you anyway.
How easy, right?
Right. Now, first of all, I give them kudos for recognizing that this was, but it should have been immediate. It should have been like, oh no, we certainly don't want you going out.
Especially now that I think it's been a week, it's been a couple of weeks. I had the same experience yesterday. So I was looking at my credit card statement yesterday, and I got my monthly recurring charge from GoGo.
Right.
You know, GoGo. And I thought, okay, well, I'll call them, give them taken off, which I knew they would. But B, nobody's flying.
Right.
Why wouldn't you proactively reach out and say, hey, I know it's a tough time. We're pausing I've been a GoGo subscriber, a monthly subscriber for forever. You know, I mean, since it was available. I mean, how easy would it be, to your point, to start a very simple communication that after this is over, I'm a loyal customer forever, right?
Well, the problem is there's a bean counter in there who's not thinking about the company's reputation, and they're thinking, you know, most people aren't even going to notice it's on their credit card.
They're not going to pay attention.
And, we probably only have to refund the 30% of people that are going to call us, which means we're going to make 70%,
Yeah.
And it's going to help keep us in business, which, by the way, I understand there are difficult decisions that have to be made out there.
Sure.
Like, I get that. But I don't think consumers will be okay with that. And I think going back to where we've been in general.
Especially in a service is not, not even could I, I couldn't use it. Where am I going to fly? So, and I'll give you the opposite is, how we talk about Delta a lot. And I firmly believe and been a believer for a long time that the reason Delta's customer service is so good is because they take care of their people first, right? So it is amazing when you see companies like Wegmans that just gave all their employees a $2 raise, right? Said, hey, we're giving you a $2 raise and taking care of their people first, because their people are on the front lines of making sure that people are fed. And you may have seen Starbucks is now giving free coffee to healthcare workers, frontline, first responder, help people who are helping others. Easy stuff to do that is thinking about your people and the people who are helping other people first, and then how this is going to impact your business. The federal government is stepping in to make sure that businesses like ours are funded. And as we're talking to our team today, I'm saying, okay, how do we take that opportunity to help the people that we can help? How does that balloon, into helping others?
What can we do? And especially the companies that know that there's no way they're selling anything. I'm not talking about every company, because there are companies that have things we still need and we have resources we still need. Thinking about how they can turn it. People are saying, well, a company like Walmart's going to do great. I said, no, they're not. People aren't buying most of the shit they sell. They're buying food.
Sure.
And so they're stepping up and they're doing what they can, because also they are such an intrinsic part of so many of those communities. And a lot of us who don't live in those areas where Walmart is the center of town, where Walmart is where the kids hang out.
Sure.
Because it's got a food court, because it's someplace they can go and be inside in bad weather or whatever it happens to be. And they're kind of stepping up for their communities now, which I think is impressive. And there are a lot of other companies doing that, that are thinking about consumers first. Whole Foods is doing an amazing job. You walk into a Whole Foods, or at least the one near me, I can't speak for all of them, but they are wiping, literally there's someone up front. They measure when you come in. They don't want people walking in all at once. They're cleaning off the cart with Clorox wipes or whatever, Purell or whatever they're using. They're insisting that they have you put out your hands, because what a lot of supermarkets are forgetting is they're cleaning off the handles, but they're not cleaning off people's hands.
Yeah.
So people are going and touching everything. Look, once you're there is something, but you can do things to make it a little bit more, a little bit safer for everybody.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you. And to wrap this up a little bit, I know a company that you've had some interaction with recently, listening to the CEO of Lowe's Hardware last night.
Right.
And I got to tell you, the leadership that they were showing, again, employees first. How do we take care? How do we protect our employees? They're giving all their employees unquestioned 4 weeks of paid sick leave. You need to leave. You need to go take care of parents. You got to get 4 weeks, right? Great. Now as an employee, one less thing I got to worry about, right? They're thinking about how do we manage our business to help the folks that need us, right? The contractors, the lawn, all the people that are being able to continue in jobs where they're spaced and can work, but then also
and helping people and getting necessary work done things don't just stop. Your plumbing still breaks, your roof still leaks.
Of course. Of
There's
course.
things that can be done. And I got to tell you, I've been watching their communications because they have a new CMO, a friend of mine, Marissa Thalberg, who recently joined them from, she might be chief customer officer. I'm not sure exactly what her title is, but it's
Yeah.
basically CMO. And she just joined from Taco Bell. And literally, I think she joined maybe 2 weeks before this all started.
Right.
And
Right.
watching some of the things she's been posting, and they've just been doing a really good job of doing the proper kind of communication, not what looks like they're trying to push out things nobody needs or do stuff.
Sure.
They're making a really good effort at communication, showing that they're there for their communities and they're there for their employees. And you got to respect that. And I'm sure a big part of that is her, because she's not only a brilliant marketer, she's a really good person.
Well, and that's it. That's it. It's a mentality. It's a mindset. It's an attitude of, hey, yes, we need to take care of our business. We need to take care of our people. But we also need to do the right thing right now. And I love that people like Lowe's, like Walmart, are thinking about how do we start with our employees, because they're the people taking care of our customers, and then manifest that out into how do we take care of our shoppers. So anyway, great chat. Hang in there, buddy.
One last thing, people, besides exercising, take care of yourselves, eat right. This is another good opportunity to start remembering to build up your immune system by eating good foods and things that are healthy for you, because it could make all the difference.
I'm pretty proud of us. Between us, we only touched our faces 4 times during this conversation.
Just remember, as long as nobody else is around, you can touch your face.
Well, no, I just reminded about how hard it is not to do that. Right?
Oh no, it's hard, but buddy, I will say, I get you. I want to give you an air hug. Love you, buddy.
Love you back.
Let's do this again.
I'll talk to you soon.
You got it.